Hello, this is Olive Hickmott. Would you like to learn more about how visual thinkers learn? This is a short 7-minute summary video created for the Visual Pedagogy and Curriculum to answer many of your questions. This has underpinned our work at empowering learning, supporting visual thinkers to use their visual superpowers to improve all aspects of literacy for the last 25 years. Just check out the video and then you can download a copy of the Pedigo and start work right away.
Okay, what if I told you that every single child is born with a kind of hidden superpower for learning? Seriously, a natural skill that if we just knew how to nurture it could totally unlock their genius. Well, today, we're going to dive into exactly what that superpower is, and more importantly, how to unleash it. This quote from author Olive Hickmott, it just nails it, right? It's such a simple but powerful idea. Think about it. Long before we have words, long before we even know what a letter is, we see things. We understand the world through pictures. It's like the brain's native language. So that brings up a really big question, doesn't it? If we are all born thinking in pictures, why on earth is our education system built so heavily on, well, on words, on abstract letters and sounds? You can already see the problem here. This mismatch, it creates a massive challenge for a whole lot of kids. All right, so let's dig into this hidden superpower. We're talking about visual thinking. And this isn't some rare gift that only a few kids have. No way, we all have it. Just think about this for a second. A tiny baby can recognize its mother's face when it's only like 6 weeks old. That's an incredibly complex visual pattern that gets stored in their memory way before they can understand a single spoken word. So here's the key takeaway, right? Visual thinking isn't something we need to teach kids from scratch. It's already there. You can think of it like their default operating system. But the problem is, it's a skill that so often goes completely unnoticed and untrained in our schools. It's like having the most powerful tool in the toolbox just sitting on a shelf collecting dust. Okay, so what happens when this kid, this natural visual thinker, walks into a typical classroom? Well, that's where the trouble starts. Because our education system, for the most part, is a world built for a different kind of learner. It's a world built for ears, not eyes. A world of words. And you can see this mismatch in action right here. On one hand, you've got the visual learner's brain, which is basically hardwired to see patterns and create these rich, detailed movies in their head. But then, on the other hand, you have the traditional classroom, which usually kicks things off with phonics, breaking words down into all these little abstract sounds. For a brain that's desperate to see the big picture first, that can be, well, just incredibly confusing. And listen, the fallout from this is serious. We're not just talking about bad grades here. For a child who's going through this day in and day out, this constant friction can lead to some really deep anxiety and frustration. They look around, they see their friends getting it, and they start to think, what's wrong with me? They get slapped with labels like lazy or struggling, when the reality is their brain just speaks a different language than the one the system is using. It's just a ton of unnecessary stress for the kids, for the families, and for the schools too. But here's the breakthrough. This is the really important part. These struggles, they're not a sign that something is broken. They are a sign of an untrained skill. It's kind of like having a Ferrari engine under the hood, but never, ever being taught how to actually drive the car. So the big question is, how do we give them the keys? Well, the secret seems to lie in a process called orthographic mapping. And I know that sounds super technical, but don't worry. The idea behind it is actually beautiful and simple. All that means is the brain's ability to take a mental snapshot of a word. It stores the word's look, its sound, and its meaning all together in one neat little package in your long-term memory. This is the magic trick that allows fluent readers to see a word and just know it instantly, without having to sound it out letter by letter. So just how important is this skill? You're not going to believe this. The source material, drawing on 25 years of experience, makes an absolutely stunning claim. They found that 100%, a full 100% of the dyslexic children they worked with were missing this one single trainable skill. Let that sink in. It suggests this isn't about a built-in deficit, but a skill that just was never taught. Okay, so if this is a skill we can train, the next logical question is how? How do we do it? And the best part is, you don't need fancy, expensive programs or any complicated tools. It's all about tapping into that visual superpower that the child already has. Here's a really simple but incredibly powerful process from the source material. Ready? Step 1. Ask the child to get a clear picture of an object in their mind, something easy, like a cat. Step 2. Now have them imagine the word CAT written right across that picture of the cat. Step 3. Tell them to take a mental snapshot, like a camera in their brain, of that combined image. And finally, step 4. Have them spell the word out loud, not by looking down, but by reading it off that picture in their head. See? It's direct, it's totally intuitive, and it plays right into their natural strengths. And the reaction from kids when they're shown this? It's often something just like this quote. "Oh, I can do that. I didn't know I was meant to do that." Can you just feel the aha moment in that? It's this incredible sense of relief and empowerment. They realize they had this ability inside them the whole time. Nobody had ever given them permission to use it for learning. And get this whole approach goes way beyond just reading and spelling. Training that mind's eye is a game changer for almost every area of learning. It can help kids visualize numbers and quantities in math, or create little mental movies of stories to boost their comprehension. It can even help them manage big emotions. They can learn to take the scary pictures in their head and literally change them into something less powerful. All right, let's pull the camera back for a second and look at the big picture. Why does this matter for all of us, not just for one child? Well, because the very skills that can make these kids struggle in a traditional classroom are the exact same skills our modern world is crying out for. I mean, just look at this list. Creativity, out-of-the-box problem solving, seeing patterns nobody else sees. These are the classic hallmarks of a visual thinker. We're told that huge, innovative companies are actively hunting for people with these exact minds. So what our schools might accidentally label as a disability, the real world sees as a massive advantage. These are learning differences, and they are absolutely profound strengths. So it really feels like we're at a crossroads, with two different paths ahead of us. Down one path, the traditional route, the focus is mostly on applying knowledge that already exists. And look, that's important, but it can accidentally crush these vital creative skills. The other path, the creative route, is all about nurturing those skills, which leads to the kind of breakthrough innovation and independent thinking that really pushes all of us forward. And that really just leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. What if we just changed the entire conversation? What if instead of seeing a problem that needs to be fixed, we started seeing an incredible resource that needs to be treasured? Maybe it's time we stopped trying to fix our visual learners and started asking them to build our future.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to learn more, do take a look at the Visual Pedagogy and Curriculum. You can download it along with our other learning materials from visualkids.co.uk, or there is the direct link to the Visual Pedagogy for you to download easily. Thank you for listening.